Hey, what's up, man? That was a sick line you had back there.
Whoa, Chad Muska? I'm a huge fan.
Dang, man, that's some ghetto ride you got rolling.
In 2003, Neversoft and Activision teamed up to bring us TonyHawk's Underground, the ultimate skateboarding video game. By 2007, it had sold over 2 million copies on PlayStation alone, making it the most successful game in the series and a personal favourite for many players. But let's be real, who didn't love TonyHawk's in the 90s and early 2000s? Ah, the good old days. Hey everyone, I'm Carl from the Gamer's Guide to the Galaxy. Sit back and relax. TonyHawk's Underground was a game changer, even adding more tricks to the already impressive roster from previous installments. But the real star of the show was the player customization. You could create your own custom character, levels, tricks, and even deck out your board with the library editor. In Underground, players got to experience the wild journey from street punk to pro skater with a clear and cohesive storyline. You got to rub shoulders with some real life skating legends and tackle a variety of goals and open-ended stages. This was very similar to the other Tony Hawk games of course, but this time, you got to do it all as your own custom character. Talk about living the dream. The character's childhood buddy Eric Sparrow turns into a bit of a scumbag and tries to steal your reputation halfway through. It's a silly story, but at the time it was totally new for a skateboarding game, and if we're being honest, it added some much needed depth to a series that was previously all about racking up points. You also got to explore some of the sickest skate spots across the United States and beyond, but before you could move on to the next level, you had to complete a set of objectives that move the story along. These could include scoring tricks, racing opponents, collecting items, and finding those pesky gaps that we all love to hunt down. You could find some real life professional skaters hanging out in each level, and chatting with them would unlock new tricks for your special meter. With its epic stages and plenty of objectives to complete, some people even called it an adventure game. The gameplay was taken to new heights with the addition of all sorts of crazy new tricks like wall plants, pressure flips and double tap grinds. And these were just the tip of the iceberg when it came to all the fresh gameplay innovations. TonyHawk's Underground was a godsend when it finally gave players the options to get off their boards and walk around. No more being a prisoner at the foot of a staircase or having to break the sound barrier just to get to a skate spot. This made exploring the world a whole lot more enjoyable. When I was getting footage for this video, I completely forgot about the driving parts that they put in the game. You should have just left them out and figured out a workaround for it because it is used during certain story elements, but the driving mechanic was god awful and should never have been in the game in the first place. The narrative mode was the primary focus of development for TonyHawk's Underground. Even though they made a ton of changes to the gameplay and the design of the game, Neversoft took a massive risk by messing with the formula of an already successful franchise, and it did pay off in a big way. Critics and fans loved the new direction and it became the standard for the rest of the series. We're getting ready to shred in our hometown in New Jersey when Eric shows up and tells us Chad Muska's coming to do a demo in the neighbourhood. Of course, Eric gives us a bit of shit about a board before we hit the streets. Even though the neighbourhood can be a little sketchy, there are still some awesome spots to skate, and New Jersey serves as the kind of tutorial level. As the sun sets on the horizon, the stage is set for Muska's epic skate demonstration, and we decide that we need to impress Muska by completing a series of challenges to prove our worth. As we complete each task with grace and finesse, Chad watches on with pride. He knows that we have what it takes. Chad fills you in on his history and recommends we check out the local skate shop, which is run by the legendary Stacey Peralta. But Peralta's not here today. To earn his attention, we've got to impress the other sponsored skaters with our skills and determination. But these tasks are mere warm-ups for what lies ahead. As we tackle each challenge with confidence and flair, the locals cheer us on, knowing that we are destined for greatness. We bust out the sickest moves and leave everybody in awe. As night falls on Suburbia, our hero is sent on a wild mission to reclaim stolen skate gear from
Your friendly neighborhood
drug dealers. After taking to the rooftops and securing the lost equipment, Eric shows up to cause some mayhem. In the morning, we finally get a meeting with Peralta. The quest is on to get excellent skate footage for him, but as fate would have it, the notorious Eric Sparrow crashes the party and attracts the wrath of the dealers from the night before. He needs our help to get to the train station across the river and visit his cousin in New York. We need non-local footage for Peralta, so it's a good opportunity to get some sick clips. After getting a few things done in the area, the dealers kidnap Eric. However, after rescuing him, we make it to the train station.
Come on!
Looks like some of the locals in Manhattan lost their stuff and need us to skate around and find it for them. No problem, we'll just shred through the city and get that gear back. And of course, people are going to want us to show off our mad skills. That's just part of the course when you're a skater boy. But the real challenge comes when we hit up the famous skate spots in New York. The Brooklyn Banks locals ain't too happy about some Jersey boys coming to town and showing off. But we've got a proposition for them. If we tear up their favourite spots, they'll help us film it. Let's show these guys what we're made of and get that footage. We've got to do some wild stuff to impress the right people, but it's all good. Proto's down with our style and is going to hook us up with all the gear we need, even a bus to get us to the Tampa AM contest. The only catch is we've got to run a few errands around New York first. Next, it's off to Tampa. First, we've got to do some favours for Officer Dick. No big deal, we'll just skate our way through him. After we help out the city, we've got to shake the cops. No problem. Just trick him into driving into the ocean. Piece of cake. It's time to show off our skills and rise to the top of the Tampa AM competition. When we get to the competition, we find out that Eric has signed himself up, but in a shocking turn of events didn't bother signing us up either. And the list is full. We've got to give it our all and impress the pros if we want to earn a spot in the coveted contest. No way will it and Eric ruin our chances again. We've got to beat him and come out on top. It's time to prove ourselves and become the ultimate skater bro at the Tampa AM. We dominate the competition and crush the best trick contest. It's time to shine and make our mark as the sickest skater around. And of course it's time to represent for Element, our new sponsor, and who better to thank than the man himself, Bam Margera. We're headed to San Diego for our first demo and we've got to get everything set up, but first let's throw a party and rage hard. Fortunately, we end up passed out and wake up to Todd, the team manager, introducing us to the new guy. Things are getting pretty serious with most of the team still missing, so Todd wants us to show Eric the ropes and get him ready for the demo. We bring our A game and the crowd loves it. Shouting out tricks they want to see, we're ready for anything. After the demo, we find out the next stop is the paradise of Hawaii. While on the plane, we check out the sick artwork on our teammates' pro model decks. There's no shortage of awesome skating spots and missions to conquer. We've got to keep an eye out for that next big spot to film, and eventually Eric approaches us, asking if we found anything yet. Not wanting to look like a total noob, we mention a secret spot we'll be hitting up later, even though it's a bit of a lie. Eventually, we do find the perfect spot to capture our moment of glory. The roof of a big hotel in town. The plan is to transfer from this roof to a nearby building, but Eric talks us out of it and we end up just skating on the rooftop. But the local police don't appreciate our shredding and are sending a helicopter to break things up. This sets up the ultimate trick, and we have to jump that helicopter.
Tell me you got that!
Hell yeah, I got it!
I can't believe I did that! That's the best thing I ever filmed!
It's the best thing anybody ever filmed!
Stay where you are.
We're heading to Vancouver for the Slam City Jam. The team secured a premiere for our new video, but we've got to get it finished first. When we get there, one of the dudes says we didn't even make the cut for the video, but Eric's part was sick as hell, a huge gap on a rooftop in Hawaii. Eric took our footage and scored a pro deal with it. It's not cool, man. We confront him about it and he just makes some smart ass comment about enjoying the amateur contest, but we ain't gonna let that slide. We're gonna show him what's up by signing up for the pro competition and showing him how it's done. We're going pro, baby. When it comes down to it, it's just us and Eric left in the competition and we're gonna crush it. We own Eric on his own line and come out victorious in the Slam City Jam Pro contest. Todd wasn't exactly thrilled about us entering as pros, but we showed him how it's done by winning the whole thing. Now we've got the title and the team is even hooking us up with our own board model. Eric's defeated once again. We land a shoe sponsor and now we're off to Moscow. It's pretty much the same deal as before, trying to distract guards and reporters while we shred. TonyHawk even congratulates us on becoming the best new pro. Eric's there too and he's trying to make amends and squash the beef. I guess it's time to be adults and let our skills do the talking. We spend some time skating around Moscow and showing everyone what we're made of. Then it's time for the demo. A little doubles action with Eric, but after the demo, Eric invites us to a party, but of course, Eric screws us over again.
Doing Smith grind, man! Woo!
Come on, Eric! Dude, Eric, come on, man! Open this thing! Let me out! Man, come on! Eric!
And he leaves us to take the blame for some crazy tank stunt. The Russian government is obviously pissed, and so is Todd. Of course, Eric blames us for everything and the team abandons us in jail. Our only option is to use our skating skills to escape Moscow and get out of Russia altogether. We finally make it back to New Jersey and decide to seek out some advice from Peralta, and he told us to just focus on skating and the rest will follow. It's time for a comeback and Jersey is the place to do it. We hit up all our old stomping grounds and show everyone what we've got. The locals are impressed, but we've got bigger plans in mind. Our hero has an idea to gather all the pros we've met along the way and do a world tour. Each pro takes on a specific goal and will make a killer video out of it. The team is killing it, but of course Eric shows up to ruin the fun. He's always got to be the final boss, but we won't let him get in our way this time. The final showdown with Eric is intense, and we've got to hit every spot he does in a tight time limit. Eric is evolved into some crazy boss form and is stronger, faster, and even has pyrokinesis. But we're not going to let that stop us from getting our redemption. We've managed to take Eric down and retrieve the legit Hawaii footage, solidifying our status as a legit pro skater. It's been a long and tough journey, but we finally made it. Punk to pro, baby. TonyHawk's Underground was an awesome game, but not everyone was feeling it. Some people thought the graphics were a little dated and the plot was a little hit or miss. It was a big success for a lot of people, but it didn't quite hit the mark for everyone. You can't please everybody, right? Even though there were other TonyHawk games released after Underground, a lot of gamers consider THUG1 to be the best in the series. THUG2 might have gotten good reviews, but it couldn't touch the original. Some people think the series has been on a downhill slide ever since THUG1. For me, I think they really lost their way after American Wasteland. It's like they stopped caring about the game and just wanted to make some quick cash. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. With all the content I have planned, you're not going to want to miss a thing. Until next time, keep on shredding.